evening, guys. For tonight's session, we will be having it in English language so that if ever non Tagalog speaking people comes in, they can be accommodated and they will understand the contents. So tonight we are discussing the strategy stage of our digital creator journey. So on your screen, you can see on the left, I have prepared, I shared a Google Sheet uh, that will help us do some kind of planning and strategizing. And beside that, you can see my YouTube channel. So because eventually I will give more efforts in developing the YouTube platform. But for now, we will just be simple in our discussion so that you can easily get familiarized as we go on. Shout out to Team Abay. So yesterday I discussed about the environment, right? So when we say environment, it also includes the online community that we are building. So it is the community of digital creators and social media influencers. So it is not only limited to the physical environment. And also, environment can mean the target market or the audience that we would like to serve or share our content with. So for tonight, we will discuss about the strategy in relation to our topic for this week, which is about honesty. So yesterday, I discussed about the environment, and then we will going to relate that together with the resources that I discussed last Tuesday on this topic. So we are going to refer again on the right to the customer value journey, a diagram. So I said last night that we can focus for the meantime for the first three steps or stages. So that is step one, awareness. Step two, the engagement, which is really important all throughout in our journey, right? So we always need to engage with one another so that we can gain or we can build a strong foundation for the community that we are building. And then the third step, the subscription, which is the gateway to the conversion or the monetization portion. Thank you for coming back, Rowena. So I hope you continue with this journey because it will really help you earn some extra income later on when you build your followers. So I can guide you on how to get started with the simple steps. So I'm trying to make these discussions easier for us, for all of us, so that even the non-technical people can understand. So good evening also to Jennifer, Kabing, and Marsan. Thank you for dropping by again. So with the strategy, you have to consider your resources, your environment, because those are the things that you will need to plan for the strategy. So I decided that we start first with the daily quota. So daily quota is not really the quota that we have usually in mind, but it is some sort of like a goal for us. So the daily quota or the quota that we will be setting is the number of followers that we want to have in our community, right? So one of the goals, one of our targets is the building of a community of followers. So you can see on the left side, I have prepared in the Google Sheet some kind of computation, but don't worry, I can guide you on this one. If you have some students with you in the family, I think they are also familiar with Google Sheets already. So for those parents who are not familiar with Google Sheet or Excel, you can ask your children or you can ask your family members or friends to help you with the Google Sheet because I think some schools are using the Google Sheet nowadays to guide them or to aid in their studies. So I'm going to discuss first some overview. So we will be focusing on the honesty and then we are on step three, right? So it is making an action plan. So the thing that will help us do that is to make use of applications or notebooks or physical notebooks like this one, Google Sheet. Good evening to Roger Cabalhug. Thank you for coming back, sir. So you can see, so step one is writing your whatever is disturbing you or challenging you, right? So with regards to your digital creator journey. So you write there all the information, whether it is something related to your self-belief, something related to your habits, lifestyle, career, anything. Just be honest with yourself. So, like for example, if you think you are not that capable, just write it. Because on step two, you are going to write anything that you can commit or any solution to your step one problems. So something like that. So I'm just reviewing this, but I have discussed this a few days ago. So this is for the benefit of the newcomers because I'm trying to build some sort of a guide for us, some sort of pattern that we can all follow so that in case that we can make this big later on, we know how we get started, right? So it is something that we can continuously improve later on as the days and the weeks go by in our journey. So something like that. So shout out also hello to Mommy Annie's blog. So since we are focusing on step three, making an action plan, so we will try to do that in action. So we will start using a physical notebook. If you don't have Google Sheet or any computer application that you can use, you can also use a physical notebook. Maybe you can buy a small notebook from the bookstore or from the school supplies store, and then you will use that to write all the things that I have said from step one, step two, step three, so that it can guide you. And then from time to time, it can serve as a reminder for you so that you can have some clear goals or or clear plans for your digital creator journey. Because if we will not write those information, it will not be motivating enough for us later on. So that is why I am encouraging you to make use of the software applications like Google Sheet or Microsoft Excel, or if you have some physical notebook, so that it will really remind you. Like for example, today or tonight, you can start writing step one and then step two, and then some maybe step three or some ideas about the action that you're going to make. And then tomorrow you can come back to it if you have other ideas or if you want to change the ideas that you have written. So it is as simple as that. So that you will really be motivated for a long time. it is really an effective way for us to keep uh, track or to monitor our progress. Because even in I myself is doing that, and it really helps me to really get focused on my goals. Because from time to time, I look at it, at the notebook, at the Google Sheet, and then my idea, my uh, my plans keep on improving. So you can try that among yourselves also. So right now, I'm going to show you, like for example, a very simple strategy foundation. Like for example, um, when we are starting this digital creator journey, and since our one of the early objectives is to build a community, right? So we need to gain a lot of followers. So with that, we can set some targets for ourselves. Like for example, this is my daily target, and then this is my monthly target. And then after 1 year or after 12 months, I expect to have this kind of community. So something like that. Like for example, right now we are participating in F2F, right? So we are supposed to gather more followers since we are following back or following other pages or other people. So just like what I've shown you, I'm going to show again the Google Sheet. So assuming that you are getting more followers, right? So you can see on your screen the Google Sheet that I made. This is the one that I showed you a few days ago.
So with this Google Sheet, you can easily remember your followers. So can you see that? So as the days go by, you can fill out these items, this list with lots of information. And then from this one, you can build your relationship. You can write uh, you can write in this Google Sheet, like for example, the page name, the URL of the profile, how many followers of that page, so that you can have some idea if the page or if the person is really active, or if it is something that you can have some collaboration later on. So you can also write, like for example, what type of content do they have? Is it for food? Is it for travel? For fitness? For gaming? So it's up to you. So we all can have different kinds of list, as long as we are using the same kind of asset or material like this. So like for example, I have, like for example, right now I have 8,000 plus followers. So it depends on you how many followers you have right now. So it is something like that. We can be unique on this one, provided that we are all using the same Google Sheet, or we have our own physical notebooks. You can also include some contact information, or maybe if they have YouTube channel. It all depends on you, on on what type of information you want to put in the Google Sheet or in your physical notebook. And then once you do that, you do this daily, on a regular basis, right? So that later on, this list will grow. It will have lots of information of your followers. Because later on, this sheet or this list that you have will help you to collaborate with other people. So earlier, I have made some simple formula. This formula will help me set some target for my goal, or my targeted community count after a while. So I'm going to simulate it so that you will have some idea. So you can see, so for your strategy, our topic is honesty, right? So these are the things that I have said earlier, the listing down of your situation or disturbances, as well as the solution or commitments that you can think of to address those disturbances. And step 3, making an action plan. So this formula or this Google Sheet that we are filling up is part of the strategy. It's part of the planning that you can make to help you get a clear idea of your goals or of your next action plan. So for example, you're going to set how many followers do you want to get in a matter of 1 hour, or in a matter of 1 day, or in a matter of 1 month, or later on in 1 year. So this can be a simple task so that you can easily get yourself familiarized. So it's like having to measure your capability, because it really depends on the amount of effort that you will put in gathering followers, right? So like for example, on this one, for myself, let's say for example, I can guarantee to have, I can take action to have 1 follower for every 2 minutes. So you can put some time frame or some sort of time measurement in your quota so that it will be easier for you to have the target later on. Assuming that I spend 2 minutes for every follower that I get, so if I'm going to measure that, if I will have 1 hour, I will be having around 30 followers. That is for 60 minutes, right? So because in 1 hour, you will have 60 minutes. So this one is a fixed amount of time, so we cannot really change this one. But for this one, like for example, step 1, if you can go faster, but it is really not advisable to be faster, right? Because Meta will restrict us or will prevent us from taking action too fast. So I think this one is really reasonable enough, getting 1 follower every 2 minutes. Because earlier, I tried to increase this one. Like for example, I want to have some sort of maybe five followers for every 2 minutes. So it can be dangerous because Meta can restrict you if if you're using your keyboard or your cell phone too fast, right? So this one is not advisable. So, and it will also make you feel tired easily if you're going to do it faster. So for this one, we're just going to have some conservative estimate. Like for example, I intend to have 1 follower every 2 minutes maybe. So assuming that your computer, the internet is not that fast, so maybe 2 minutes is okay for every follower that you get, right? So you can do that by either following back or following, just like what we're doing in the F2F. So it depends on your strategy how you're going to do your followers. So it's either you follow or you follow back. So assuming you have the initial assumption, you are expected to have 30 followers in 1 hour. So that is your basic measurement. So you can see here, it's like a measurement. First one is the effort, because this is the setting up of targets or something that is related to your capability. It really depends on each one of us. What are the achievable targets that we can have, but acting too fast is really not advisable because of the violations or restrictions to be imposed by Meta if we do that. So step 2 So that is step 1. So we are setting our phase or interval. How many followers we can get in a certain amount of time. So step 2 is we should plan or we should assess our daily availability. So how many hours per day are you available, or can you give time to this F2F activity? So something like that. Like for example, let's say I am working or I am studying, so I don't have much time to do the F2F. So I can only do it maybe 1 hour per day. So something like that. But it depends on you. So sometimes if you're like for example, if you have many time like some of us, so maybe you can put here 24 maybe 16 hours. 16 hours, assuming that you are not working, assuming that you are not doing anything, and then the remaining 8 hours you will use that for sleeping. So something like that. So let's say the maximum time, available time that you can allocate for F2F is 16 hours. So in a day, you can have around 480. So of course, this is not really the realistic or the actual, but it somehow gives us some idea or some kind of estimate on how much we can gather. So something like that. So provided we are sticking to step 1. So 1 follower per every 2 minutes. So something like that. So you can see, if I'm going to change this, like for example, I put here just 1 hour available. So you can see the other fields or the other cells automatically changes, because before I do that, I already put some formula on the cells. So as I said earlier, if you have some children or students or some people working in the offices, you can ask them on how to do it. Or if you have some friends who know how to use Google Sheet or Microsoft Excel, because it is an easier way for you to know that, because of the formula that you can use. So this is just a simple formula. I just did some multiplication and some division. So Excel or Google Sheet is already equipped with that, so that you can just use it. So if you want, we can also have maybe in the future some kind of session similar to that, or on this sheet I can make a copy of this one, and all of you who are interested to know how to use this can comment your email address, Google Gmail address on the comment section, so that I can make you as a commenter of this Google Sheet. So something like that. So we can easily work on this one once I added you to the list of the people who can comment on this Google Sheet. I'm going to make a copy of this Google Sheet worksheet later. So just comment your Gmail address. So after completing step 2, assuming you can only, like for example, the most conservative estimate is you can only give 1 hour every day for your F2F activity. So step 3, so this is also a fixed amount. So you can visualize, like for example, in a matter of 30 days or 1 month, you are expected to have around 900 followers. So something like that. Assuming you follow step 1 and step 2 assumptions. So you can see, because these figures or these numbers are dependent on step 1 and step 2. So it is really with step 1 that we start to gauge our skills, our time, our capability, our commitment to do the F2F. So it is something like we are motivating ourselves. So something like that. And writing it in Google Sheet or in physical notebook can really help us get motivated for a long time. So you can see here, so with step 1, we have some effort and then we can measure. And then as we go to step 2, we begin to have some sort of motivation because we can see, we can assess, or we can plan with our daily availability the amount of hours that we can commit and the expected number of followers that we can get per day. So how much more, like for example, if you are available maybe let's say 16 hours per day, so you can have around 480 followers per day, provided that you will not go too fast because you will be restricted if you do that, right? So, and then going to step 3, you can also visualize how many followers you can get per month. So, in 1 month, provided you spend 16 hours per day with 1 follower per 2 minutes, more or less, you can have around 14,000 plus people. So maybe you can try this if this is really effective. Provided you are not doing any other work or any other thing. So imagine every day you spend 16 hours doing F to F. In a matter of 30 days, how many followers you get? So something like that. But this is not reality, right? So it is not practical because from time to time we need to do other things at home, with our work, and anything in between. So this is just an estimate. But it will give us really some kind of motivation, some kind of idea how much we can accomplish after a certain amount of time. And finally, step 4, in about 12 months, in about 1 year, provided you are doing the same amount of time per day, per month, after 12 months, as a result, when you project your community, so you will have around 170 plus followers. So this is just for in practical terms, this is just for motivation, so that you really be excited every day. Because one of the problems of some digital creators is that some of them lose interest as the days go by. So it's like they don't get motivated. Like for example, they always get restricted, or they got busy, or they have other priorities to attend to. So it really depends on the person. So this is just like, for example, visualizing what outcome we want for ourselves. So something like that. So even I'm going to try this one, but I really cannot commit around 16 hours per day, because this is something that only selected amount or selected number of people can do. Not all people have the time to engage in F to F for around 16 hours. So something like that. So this is one simple strategy that you can test for yourselves. And then maybe later on you can let me know if this one works for you, so that we can know how to improve it better. So imagine around 100,000 plus people after 1 year. So I think this one is ideal only if an actual robot will do this. Because as humans, we really don't have the assurance of fixed time that we can allocate for these kinds of activity, because there are other things that we need to attend to in life, right? So just comment your email address later or as you watch this, so that I can make you as a commenter of this file, so that you can study this as time goes by. I'm going to write page reviews for those that I haven't visited yet, and then continuously engage with your content if ever I already did some page reviews for the past few days. So far, do you have any questions? This is actually really simple, and then you can really get used to this as you get familiarize yourself with Google Sheet or Microsoft Excel. This is just a simple formula. And we can make some similar formats like this in the future. So Google Sheet or these kinds of applications will be with us for a long time, because it can really help us plan our journey in digital creator. I'm going to also show you something that I put in the workflowy. So to help you also plan or to strategize, you can make use of the workflowy application or the website. So workflowy.com. So this one, Google Sheet that I show you, is part of the resources. So you can see here, like for example, for the Google Sheet, you can use that to make your daily quota for the number of followers that you intend to have. Like for example, in 1 month, after 1 year. And also you can look at your target market or the audience that you want to serve, or that you want to accumulate later on. So I have shown you some examples in the Google Sheet earlier. So like for example, you have your page insights for the audience. You can analyze that later on. But analyzing some information, we will do that every Sunday. So tomorrow, Saturday, it is time for us to execute or to experiment whatever strategy that we have every Friday. So that will be our flow, or that will be our process for this week. And if that becomes really effective, we can continue to do that next week, and then we will try to add some improvements if there are things that we can add more, or if there are things that can really help us achieve our goals better. So you can see, so for the resources, these are the tools that you can use. Microsoft Teams collaboration app, or if you don't have this one, you can have a physical folder or a physical envelope, just like what the students are using at school. So that is to organize your content. Like for example, you write your content in a piece of notebook, or in some physical paper. So you can keep those content, those notebooks in your physical folder or envelope. Or if you have this Microsoft Teams collaboration app, you can download this, and then if you need help on how to use this, just let me know. I can help you on how to set it up, and then give you some simple demo on how to do it. And also, Google, for the other tools that you will be needing, you can use a Google Sheet or a physical notebook, just like what I said earlier. And also Workflowy or any plain paper with lines, because one of the things that I like about Workflowy is that you can have this some kind of like an itemized content. So you can see I can collapse, I can expand each section. So it's really something that you can simplify once you get familiarized with it. So something like this. You can see I was able to make this as a simplified list, and also if I want, I can drill down or to expand it further. So that is one thing that I like about Workflowy. It can really help me organize my ideas. So you can see from my vision and from my mission and vision up to the journey overview, up to some timelines, because we need timelines and calendar, right? So that we can schedule our activities. And then up to the resources, like for example, the tools that we can use. So those the applications and the physical folders or notebook that we can use, as well as some topic content. This I have discussed in my previous sessions before, some ideas on what particular topics that you can have as content in your channel or page. So this is really something that worth looking into. So I think that's all for this session. So just let me know if you need help on how to get started with this one. So you just make sure that you attend every session. I'm trying to make the sessions shorter so that it will not take much of your time, so that it will really be productive for you, and the time that you spent on the session will be worthwhile. So thank you for attending tonight's session, and see you again tomorrow. But for tomorrow, it will be like an on the go. We will discuss some experiment that we can make as the next step after we strategize, and then there will be some additional motivation talk on that. Of course, it will revolve around honesty, which is the topic for this week. And then by Sunday, we will have some sort of summary or recap or optimization for our overall journey. So something like that. So it will be like that every week until we find some other improvements or new ideas on how to deliver the contents to you. So thank you all for attending, and then see you again tomorrow. I'm not sure if I will try to do it in the daytime, but if not, we will have it again at night. Just wait for my update. You can always visit my website, because I always update that with the schedules. And then hopefully we can see improvements for our efforts in as little as a few days or in a few weeks. Okay, thank you all.